And that is, of course, because we have two major news stories going on right now. We're closely monitoring both of them, both with major international implications. On the left side of your screen, wreckage from Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 still smoldering in eastern Ukraine after a possible surface-air-to-missile struck the plane that was carrying 298 people. On the right side of your screen, increasing violence in Gaza and a ground war now underway. We'll start with that downed airliner. International authorities, including President Obama, are trying to figure out exactly what happened here. Meantime, Russian President Vladimir Putin is blaming Ukraine for this. He blames the unrest in the country's Russian-speaking eastern regions for the conditions that led up to this. Putin also just most recently today now calling on both sides in the ongoing crisis there to lay down their arms. But Putin did not specifically accuse Ukraine of shooting down that plane. He's also failed to address the key question of whether Russia gave the rebels in the eastern part of the country the firepower it needs to take down a plane of this size. President Obama also, as we mentioned, briefly addressed the situation yesterday before a series of fundraising stops in New York.
The United States will offer any assistance we can to help determine what happened and why.
He didn't say much more than that, much of the consternation of a lot of folks. And during an interview on PBS with Charlie Rose and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, Clinton had this to say about the plane.
The Ukrainian government has been quick to blame it on terrorists, which is, their name for the Russian insurgents.
So there's Clinton's take. She also added that European leaders need to put more pressure on Putin and Russia if they're in fact involved in downing the passenger jet. Among the topics Clinton also discussed was the current conflict in the Middle East, which, as we mentioned, continues to escalate. This morning, Israel intensified its campaign against Gaza's Hamas rulers using its ground operation. Also, Israel launched an open-ended assault to be carried out on several fronts, with the primary target being destroying the Hamas underground tunnels that country recently used, or Hamas rather, the terrorist organization recently used to infiltrate Israel. 13 heavily armed militants tried to sneak into Israel through that tunnel, but they were stopped by an airstrike at the mouth of the tunnel.